Who are you calling cow dung? Su Jingjing's face showed sullenness. Shuelina said she didn't care about anything, but she couldn't stand the people around her. Who else could it be? It's the one next to you. TSK. He looks pretty good, but look at this outfit. TSK. From head to toe, isn't it enough to look like Mao Zedong? Like this, what's the use of a poor boy? Just grab a lot of them in the village. Is this what you like? Shuelina circled around Yifeng, her red lips opening and closing constantly. It's not that my sister said you, man, you are a waste if you can't even make any money. What happened today? Did you follow him to have an abortion, but in the end you couldn't even raise enough money, so you are here waiting for someone to give you money? Huh, but yes, you only deserve to hang out with this kind of thing. That's enough. He's just my brother. We're not here to have an abortion. Su Jingjing was angry and shouted to Shuelina. However, this sound not only did not hit Shuelina, but instead made everyone passing by feel weird. Looked over. You. Su Jingjing's pretty face turned red at the sight, but you didn't say anything for a long time. TCH, the stinky bitch is just hypocritical. Just have an abortion. What's the big deal? None of the village girls like you have ever beaten one or two. Don't explain. Shuelina raised her face slightly and made a look of disdain. He looked like, how much money is left? Tell me, after all, I am a schoolmate, so I have to help you no matter what, right? As she spoke, she actually opened her wallet, took out 2 pieces of Mao Zedong, and threw them on the ground. Here, 200 is enough. Pa, Shuelina's raised face suddenly swung to the right, leaving a bright red palm print on the left half of her face. You hit me? Shuelina turned her head and looked at Yifeng in disbelief. Yifeng's hand still maintained the posture of slapping the person. Buddha once said, don't argue when you can solve the problem with your hands. Yifeng's face was full of sneer. Just by the few times the woman looked around after getting out of the car, Yifeng knew that this slap was enough. Fighting in vain. Try hitting me again. Shuelina had never been slapped in the face like this before, and she immediately threw a tantrum at Yifeng. How dare you, a country bumpkin, do something with me? Do you know who I am? Believe it or not, I am today. Let you get out of the county. I never hit a woman. Before Shuelina's manicured hands touched her face, Yifeng slapped her again, leaving a fingerprint on the other half of her face. Fortunately, you can only do this. What a bitch. Okay. You are ruthless, you are ruthless. I want to see who is more ruthless today. Shuelina covered her face and said harsh words. She didn't dare to touch Yifeng anymore, so she took out her mobile phone from her small bag. Dialed out. As soon as the call was connected, this street shrew immediately turned into a wronged little daughter-in-law. She cried into the phone and said, Dr. Jean. I came to the hospital gate to pick you up as you asked, but I didn't see him. The person you mentioned was beaten by a country bumpkin, Jean Dong. You have to make the decision for me, woo. There was a burst of laughter from the crowd of onlookers. If I didn't know whether the words she said to Su Jingjing were true or false when I first heard them, now I see this woman acting rude and crying. No one with eyesight can't tell. She was deliberately looking for trouble and was whipped. However, what Shuelina didn't know was that her Jean Dong was exchanged for Yifeng's sneer. Unlucky, it might not be who it was. Boy, if you have the guts, just wait here for me. Let me tell you, this matter is not over today. You can run away, and Su Jingjing can't run away. If you don't kowtow to me and apologize today, I will take my last name. Write it backwards. After hanging up the phone, Shuelina returned to her shrewish face. Whatever, have you called for reinforcements? Just wait. Yifeng was confident in his heart and was not anxious at all. He stood at the door of the hospital with his arms folded and looked at the ugly appearance of this woman. Brother Feng, let's go and ignore her. Su Jingjing pulled Yi Feng's clothes from behind. She knew that Yi Feng was just an orphan with no background. Xuelina was also called fierce. If Yi Feng left, Xuelina would not dare to take her no matter what. After all, in this small place, the village chief is also considered the #1 cadre. It's okay, let's just wait. I want to see how long this shrew can be rampant. Yi Feng turned around and gave Su Jingjing a reassuring look. Seeing Yi Feng's look, Su Jingjing's originally chaotic thoughts actually calmed down. Because she was young, she used to be a little follower behind Yi Feng. At that time, she felt that as long as Brother Feng was around, there would be nothing. Things that cannot be solved. Maybe this is the sense of security that the sisters in the dormitory talk about. Less than 10 minutes later, 3 cars drove over from the other side of the road. The one who got out of the first BMW was Jin Yongrong. Originally, he did not need to be present in person for this kind of thing, but what happened to Xuelina happened between him and Yi Feng. The agreed place gave old man Jin a very bad feeling. From the 2 vans behind, a group of construction workers with shovels and pickaxes got off. Director Jean, why are you here? It's them who bullied me and beat me. When the supporters came, Xuelina immediately burst into tears and threw herself into Jin Yongrong's arms, beating her coquettishly. While stretching out his hand, he pointed at Yi Feng. The foreman who led the team knew that the young and beautiful Xuelina was very favored by Jin Yongrong. Without waiting for the old man's instructions, he shouted and rushed towards Yi Feng with his men. Stop it! Looking at Yi Feng, who was standing with his hands behind his hands with a sneer on his face, Jin Yongrong felt a headache. Xuelina is young and beautiful, and knows how to serve men. She is very popular with him. The county is such a big place, so the county magistrate has to be polite to Jin. If he dares to cause trouble, he will be beaten. But this troublemaker is Yi Feng. What's wrong, Director Jin, don't you deal with this kid? The foreman holding the shovel looked back at Jin Yongrong in confusion. However, before Jin Yongrong could speak, Yi Feng spoke first. Old man, you are fine. If you can't tell, you are really getting stronger as you grow older. Even a blind person can see the relationship between Xuelina and Jin Yongrong. Easy to say, easy to say. Jin Yongrong is indeed a veteran of the shopping mall, and his face does not even turn red. Little brother, what is the fuss about today? You and Lena, you. Oh, us, it's nothing. Yi Feng chuckled, squatted on the ground, and picked up the 2 red Mao Zedong cards from the ground. It's not like I was here waiting for the old man to pick me up, and then he ran into me. Sister, after saying a few words, this Miss Lena came out. She thought we were going to have an abortion like her, but we didn't have any money. That's not true. She even sponsored us with 200 yuan, Yi Feng said. He stuffed the 2 bills into his pocket. This. Jin Yongrong's expression changed. On the one hand, he was complaining about Xuelina's troubles. On the other hand, he felt that Yi Feng was too disrespectful to him, and his words were full of guns and sticks, which made him feel very uncomfortable. It's my fault for being too impulsive. I didn't know that Miss Lena has a relationship with the old man. If you make such a fuss, you probably don't want to talk to me anymore. Alas, impulsiveness is the devil. Yi Feng suddenly looked regretful, then he took out a handkerchief from his arms and unfolded it. He picked up one of the 2 black pills wrapped in the handkerchief and handed it to Su Jingjing. Sister, I can't sell my pills anymore. I'll give them to you. Ah. Su Jingjing took the pill and looked at it for a few times without knowing why. Although she didn't know why Yi Feng gave her the pill, she guessed that it was related to the current situation. She opened her mouth and threw it in. He opened his face and wrinkled up like a bitter gourd, almost spitting out the pills. Brother Feng, it's so bitter. Eat it, it's good for your body. This is the taste of the Qing Body Gu Yuan pill. Yi Feng pinched Su Jingjing's face with a hint of doting. He had liked pinching this girl's face since he was a child. However, this habitual action made Su Jingjing's pretty face turn red. "Silly and cute," she said. "Oh. What did you just say? The Qing Body Gu Yuan pill? Do you really have the Qing Body Gu Yuan pill?" Over there, Jin Yongrong had thrown away Xue Lina from his arms and rushed to Yi Feng, grabbed Yi Feng's wrist, roaring excitedly. However, a second later, he regretted it. Jin Yongrong couldn't figure out why this kid always made himself lose his composure. It was the same as last time and this time. His strong intention to buy could only put him at an absolute disadvantage during the negotiation process. Alas, there is no way. The things in Yi Feng's hands were too tempting. "Why, Mr. Jin is still willing to talk to me?" Yi Feng had already expected this to happen. Could the elixir recorded in the Qingtian suicide note be of ordinary quality? Moreover, the book marked them as imperial elixirs. A descendant of the royal family like Jin Yongrong, who could kneel down for a copper coin from his ancestral temple, must have some knowledge of these imperial elixirs. If he doesn't want it, then there's something wrong with him. Talk, why not talk? After people accumulate wealth to a certain extent, their attention will shift to other aspects, and health is often the first pursuit of these rich people. Jin Yongrong is already 60 this year, and his physical condition is early. It went downhill, his need for this elixir was self-evident. "Okay, then let's talk, but..." Yi Feng suddenly took out the 2 pieces of Mao Zedong from his pocket. "Old man, please wait for a while, I will go in to have an abortion first, and we will talk after the abortion is completed." Yi Feng's words caused a burst of laughter from the crowd of onlookers. Xue Lina's face over there had already turned green. Even though she was a pig, she could see that Jin Yongrong wanted something from Yi Feng. Jin Yongrong's expression changed again and again. Although he was a little angry at Yi Feng's extravagant advances, just like in the antique street at that time, he valued the benefits that Yi Feng could bring him in the future more than his temporary mood. After thinking about it, Jin Yongrong turned around and yelled at Xue Lina, "Smelly bitch, why don't you come over and apologize?"